All right, this is Mark Benjamin, City of Norwich Planning Zoning Board of Appeals Chairman, calling the meeting for Tuesday, July 14th. We'll call the meeting to order. If I could please, I'm going to call for a roll call. Dave Martin.
Present.
Greg Slough.
Present.
Bob Phoenix. Nothing heard. Dorothy Travers.
Present.
Peter Kuprak.
Present.
Mark Benjamin, present. Did I get everybody, Rich?
Yes, and then Catherine and myself.
Rich Shuck and Catherine Rose, acting as administrative staff. We do have enough members to, we have a quorum, we can conduct business. On the seating of the alternates, I am actually at work right now and I'm on duty. So for the vote, I was going to ask to seat an alternate in my place. I was going to move forward and participate, but in order to expedite this motion, I'm afraid that at any second I could get called away and I don't want to delay it. So I'd like to be able to seat an alternate. And I believe that everyone present was here in last month's meeting, and that would allow us to move forward. Is that correct, Rich?
Yes, yep, and you only have 5 anyhow, so if you had to exit, it would be left to the 4.
Right. Okay. All right. So that's fine. I'll just play. All right. So all will be voting, and in my absence, if something happens, we can continue on. Communications? Was that none, Rich?
Communications was none. Let me double check.
Okay.
Well, the one under communications was the referral recommendation letter from CCP. That was the communication.
Okay. All right. We all received that. Did everybody get a chance to look at it?
Yes.
Peter, yes.
Okay.
Greg said.
All right.
Dave, yes.
It's gonna be crazy. All right, I'm just waiting for the captain to answer that phone. It's got to roll over. Acceptance of the July. I'm just gonna accept into record the communication from the CCP. We all have it. It's in the document. If I could just get a motion to accept it into the record.
So moved.
This is Greg. All right, I'll second Peter's motion. This is Greg.
All right. Motion's made and second. Everybody in agreement to accept and move that into the record?
Dottie,
Dave?
yes.
David, yes.
Peter?
Peter, yes.
Greg?
Greg, yes.
And Mark, yes. So that will be accepted into the record. Acceptance of the June 9th meeting. If I can get a motion to accept the meeting minutes.
I make a motion, Dottie.
Greg, second.
Any errors, omissions, or corrections? Hearing none. All those to accept the minutes as presented? Dave?
Peter, yes.
Dave, yes.
Dottie, yes.
Greg, yes.
And Mark, yes. Meeting minutes have been accepted. I'm just on the wrong page. We have no new business, correct, Rich?
Correct.
And we have the letter. And so
So the public hearing's still
Yeah,
open if there's any other comments anybody wants.
Right. So, all right, is there any additional comments from participants?
Unless the member, this is Mark Block, unless the members of the board have questions of the applicant or council, we have nothing to add to the record or to add to the memorandum from the Commission on the City Plan, which we support.
Mr. Block, are you and the applicant okay with the stipulations that CCP imposed? You're in agreement to them? You'd be willing to make those concessions?
Yes, we would.
Okay. All right. Does anyone have any questions for the applicant or Attorney Block? Dave?
None.
Dottie?
None.
Greg?
None, no, none, nothing at all.
Peter?
Not at all. None.
Okay. All right. Is there anyone else that would like to make any statements or questions concerning this appeal? Okay. Is there anyone to speak in favor of this appeal? Anyone to speak in favor? Anyone to speak in favor? Hearing none. Is there anyone to speak in opposition? Any opposition? Any opposition? Hearing none. Before we close it, Attorney Block, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Nothing else to add to the record.
Okay. If you guys got any questions, we can ask a question. If not, I'd take a motion to close and move forward.
This is Greg, so moved to move forward.
Peter, second.
I second it. Dottie.
All right, so I had Greg first, and I think Dave was the second Dave was the first second of, I
Yep.
believe.
That's right.
Okay. Rich, anything else we need to catch in here before we move forward and close it?
No, I think we're doing good. You know, the whole purpose of continuing was for that referral.
Okay. All right. As long as I just want to make sure I got all the information in before I close it. On advice of staff, we have all information, a complete application. We have a recommendation from CCP. Just for board members that haven't been aware before, a recommendation from CCP is that it's a recommendation. We don't have to follow it, but it's another extension of our board, and we try to work in unison. And they're looking at a whole picture where we're looking at a small picture. So any of our considerations and deliberations should at least reference or point out to them. So just making that point before I close it. And with that, I'll declare we got a motion made and a second. All those in favor to close and move forward for action? Dave?
Yes.
Dottie?
Yes.
Greg?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
And Mark is a yes. So unanimous, motion is closed. And now if we could entertain a motion on the appeal.
This is Greg. I would move, just so we can get some discussion if people want, move to accept the appeal with the recommendations made by the Commission of City Plan.
Okay, can I get a second, please?
I second that, Dottie.
Okay. All right, Greg, it was your motion.
Well,
Anything
just
else you'd
looking-
like to add?
No, I just think that the city plan took us and really looked at it. I do think we did talk about the sign, and that's what kind of made me want to put this in, because they basically have the signage to be attached to the building itself, not in the front yard, and I thought that would be more aesthetically pleasing for the neighborhood, so that's why I just want to include this into that motion, that's all.
Okay. I think the letter was pretty inclusive. I mean, most everything that we talked about as far as maintaining the appearance of the house, not looking like a commercial place, the sign, the walkway, you know, to get into the two sites. I think these are all points that we talked about, and by CCP acting on it, it gives it gives it some bite, and it's going to suit the needs of the developer and protect the needs of the residents. So I will be supporting this. Dave, any comments?
No, I think you've basically stated everything that I had to state.
All right. Dottie?
Yeah, I agree with the letter. That it addressed
Okay.
all the points that we discussed at the last meeting.
All right.
So I'm all
Greg?
set on it.
Okay. Greg?
No, I'm good, Mr. Chairman. I think everything is appropriate. I think it works well. I agree that the walkway, everything we talked about is what they went through as well. I don't see anything stopping right now.
Okay. And Peter?
No, I agree with what the commission on the city plan has. The same thing we discussed last time, and I'm just looking forward to this project running to completion and taking a look at it, because I was one of the first new residents when that place was built. I was the first new resident when that place was built originally, so I'd like to see it again.
Okay. Greg, I'm going to bring it back to you since it was your motion. Just for the record, could you list a hardship?
Lack of space, lack of required space. I don't know if that would be a hardship or not. I really don't know.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but one of the ones we typically use is reasonable use of the property.
That sounds good.
Being
That's what I said. You just didn't hear it right.
That's what he said.
Okay. It just because it's connected to the other property, it would be a reasonable use to, and it's going to maintain the residential look of the neighborhood, and it's
Yeah.
providing a reasonable use of the property.
That's what I said. It just
So-
came out wrong.
Okay. So Greg, that was your motion. Dave, that was your second. Are you okay with that getting added on for a hardship?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All those in favor to grant? Dave?
Yes, in favor.
Dottie?
Yes,
Greg?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes, in favor.
And Mark Benjamin, yes in favor. So the motion passes unanimously. To the applicant, you understand there's a 15-day appeal period before you can do anything. And Rich will send you out a letter, and then you can move forward.
Thank you very much.
All right. Rich, I did not read V2004. Should I read it at the end of this thing, or are we playing loose enough with this thing?
Yeah, just make it clear that it's a continuation of V20-04.
All right. This was an appeal of V2004-159 in Dunham Street, continuation from the June 9th meeting. Zoning regulation section 4.1.1 to permit use of existing single-family unit home as a rental office. All right. And the motion's passed. Other matters? Anything, Rich?
No.
All right. Hearing none. Does any of the board members have anything?
The only thing I talked, this is Greg, I'm sorry. The only thing I talked
Yeah.
to Rich about on the phone when he called me was, we seem to be having problems. I mean, I know Dave had a hard time getting in last time, for our last meeting. I had a problem this time. I know you're at work, so you had an issue trying to get in as well. I did suggest to Rich that maybe we should look at, if we go up to like, I think it's room 313 on the third floor, opposite side of the building is the council meeting room. The room is big enough where, 5 or 6 of us can sit in there and still have a 6-foot spacing where we can do this, where it wouldn't be a problem. And if we did have to Zoom in somebody to come in with us, we could. But there's also tables closer to where an audience could sit that is far enough away from us as well, where we could hold these meetings if we're going to continue to have problems trying to log in to Zoom meetings.
3:35?
Dottie, I don't have a problem logging in here at the house. All the information is given by Rich and don't have a problem so far.
Well, let's hope in another month we're even closer to just back to normal. But,
I hope
Yes.
so.
Wow.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, if you guys want to, what we can do is I can set up some tests so that we can kind of perfect the login. I know I do it on my laptop with a lot of different meetings, so I'm used to it. But we'll see now because I logged out of my normal account using the city account now, so I might not be able to get in my account.
right. I mean, my issue was when I did it last month, I had no problem with my home computer. I came to work and totally forgot about this meeting.
Yeah.
And the city computer just has locks on it that I can't get through to Zoom.
Yeah.
So had I been more prepared, it wouldn't have been an issue. But
Yeah,
all right.
my issues last time were just user error, which I figured out. So
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to go in and close the meeting, I can leave it open so we can chat.
All right. If I can get a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn. This is Dottie.
Peter, second.
All those in favor to adjourn?
Aye.
Dave, yeah.
Dave? Dottie? Bob?
Aye.
Greg?
Yes.
Peter?
Yes.
And Dottie was a yes. Mark's a yes. Meeting adjourned at 7:34. Okay.